All right, I haven't seen this video, so I thought it'd be cool if we all watch it together and judge for ourselves. But apparently in Tempe, Arizona, they have unveiled the world's first carless community. It's a city where everything's 15 minutes away walking. And
that's cool.
Hey, is that everyone's scared of? Like,
maybe.
They're like 15-minute cities.
Yeah,
or like
cities,
you rent everything, you own nothing, and then like this is like the beginning of how they're gonna control us.
We'll see. Maybe they'll mention that.
Constructed the city. Are there places for cars to drive through? No, you can't. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this goes.
That's like Europe then.
That's kind of cool though.
This brand new rental community in Tempe has all the amenities: fitness center, dog park, outdoor kitchens, but something's missing. So there are no cars in this community at all. Isn't it great? Cul-de-sac is the first community in the U.S. designed and built specifically for car-free living.
So it's just all
Co-founder
walking.
Ryan Johnson says the demand is strong.
Every generation, and including 92% of Gen Z, would like to pay more to live in a walkable neighborhood.
Retail, restaurants, and to start, nearly
Kinda true.
200 apartments, all within steps of each other. No cars means no parking spaces, no garages.
Because we don't have residential parking, it opens us up to have 55% landscape space. We get to add so much to the neighborhood.
Like social spaces around every corner. The complex is strategically located right next to the area's light rail system. All residents get a free pass. The first 200 also get a free electric e-bike, and a partnership with Lyft gets them discount rides.
I've been fine just going via rail or just biking.
Juan Ramos, among the first 100 to move in here, grew up in Arizona, but left because he didn't like the car-dependent sprawl. At 27, he just came back and says living car-free has opened his eyes.
Frankly, for most of the apartments I've lived in for years, I've never even talked to my neighbors. I know people, like, that's Pete over there, that's Ben over there, and I'm like, that's the first time I've said that.
Residents often gather near the retail stores, which focus on small businesses. Jada Stratman is moving both her Home Sense business and herself in.
It's not as like affordable out here as it was a few years ago, you know? And having that opportunity to live and work where you are and just have it as one, that's perfect.
So it's cheaper, sounds like, to live in a place like this?
That's what it seems like.
So if they have a car, where do they park it? They just can't park
I think
it.
they just don't have it. Yeah. They just
I feel
don't
like
have
it's
it.
like a New York, like, you know, like you just walk around, you can get around easily. China's kind of like that. You can get around easily without cars and stuff like that. So it's.
It almost kind of just feels like a fancier like housing project.
It is
you know, like
cool, though,
you know, like the
yeah.
projects how they're huge like that, but you got to park mad far, and then you could just walk.
I do like the idea of being able to just walk to different restaurants or coffee.
I wish we had more places though that was like walkable.
Yeah.
And like the places that are, it's just full of homeless people.
Yeah.
Like walkable but safe.
Yeah. Like why don't we have walkable cities?
And I think that's literally why there's a demand for this, especially in a time where if you wanted anything outside of that community, you could still just get it delivered to you, or you could deliver yourself to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it does, I feel like it does kind of make sense, especially if that just happens next to or around downtown or like, you know, major, you know, urban areas. It's like, it could make sense for a lot of people.
Yeah. A lot of downtowns are walkable, but no one wants to be there because they look like post-apocalyptic wastelands.
A little scary. Yeah.
And the few places that are walkable around here, whether you're like in like the Silver Lake area or the Pasadena area or, you know, fucking, or like how you like New York, you know what I mean? Like those places are dope and they feel dope if you feel like comfortable. So it would be sick to just have a shit ton more of that.
Yeah, I feel like in California you have like San Francisco, you have like some parts of downtown LA, or if you do have a walkable place, it's just Main Street of any city and that's it.
Yeah.
Like you have Colorado and Pasadena and that's it. But around it, it's not walkable.
Right, that's the thing too, is that everything's broken up. So anywhere that's walkable in California or SoCal is just gonna have really shitty blocks and then something nice, and then really dangerous stuff and then something nice.
Yeah. Like my school, they have a lot of like foreigners that come out here, and they hate how you have to, you know, Uber's not cheap here, so it's like they have to Uber everywhere just to get around. You need a car, and it's like one of the things they say, they're like, man, I wish everything you didn't need to have a car just to get somewhere.
And you lose a big chunk of your day just kind of getting
sitting in traffic.
Does this also mean cops have to be fit now?
Because they have to run after you.
Yeah, because like if you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna just run through this neighborhood. He's like, God, I gotta get on my fucking car. And they're like, chase it through because you can't drive. You can't drive through there.
And it's probably windy too.
Yeah, don't want to try and get caught chasing a parkour person.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
Not in that area.
Imagine this works, and then it picks up steam, and then next time, you know, suddenly you have like 10 of these right next to each other. Now it just feels like a spot in like Asia.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like it's you just walk from block to block or like kind of unit to unit, and you can make it halfway across the city on foot, but there's everything you need everywhere.
Dude, this might be the new move, man. Like, this seems pretty promising. Like, I could totally see myself living in a situation like this.
But doesn't this depend solely on the community itself? Yeah. Like, nothing would be worse than if you lived in something like this and the people were shitty. And they
But I think if it's successful and it makes money, I can see them doing more and expanding. And I always think it's always better to have more choices. So people can choose to live how they want to live. I think it's tight.
Yeah.
And especially the part like you get to know your neighbors. Like, I feel like
I don't like that part actually. I disagree with that part actually.
I think you should agree with that because I feel the fact that like healthy. You know, it's healthy, and then like a lot of people just don't know their neighbors. Like for me, in my apartment complex I live in, I know my neighbors, and I think my neighbors are freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And
what kind of neighbors do you have though?
I have so it's like a townhome area. Mm-hmm. So the front person has he used to be a photographer.
Oh,
so
cool.
He's pretty cool. There's a lady that lives above us. She takes care of like the whole garden area that's outside and stuff like that. So she's freaking amazing. And then we had another new lady that just moved up. So it's only like 4 places within there. And all of them, they're just really nice. We all look after each other and things like that. And then, you know, I get some of my friends, they don't even know their neighbors. They're just like, they don't know what to do. And it's just harder for them to meet people out here. And it's just like, I feel like it'll make it a lot easier for sure.
That is pretty cool. I guess it's kind of similar to where I live now, like a brewery. Mm-hmm. Brewery kind of feels like that, but except everybody's weird. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the thing, like when you're at a normal place, it's like there's a diversity and there's something interesting about it, but I think where I live, everybody's really like keeping to themselves in a weird way.
What I like about Asia and Europe and how it's built, like you can go downstairs and right there's like 7-Eleven, a burger shop. There's like a couple of steps, and then like there's a lot of fun exploring. Like you're never bored, and then you can walk like 20,000 steps, and it doesn't feel like it, because like. It's just you just keep I think there's just a lot to see versus here you can walk for a minute and it feels like forever because it's boring.
It's true.
That's a good point.
I feel like to caveat off of that, like when I was in China, I would wake up at like 5, 6 in the morning, and I'd just go out and walk around outside, and then I'd go take like the little bike and go driving around, and it's just like there were so many different things to see in such a small area. It was just like seeing a new experience.
And like the ultimate combo is spaces like this, but then functioning public transportation.
That are on time.
That's a superpower.
Like that rail.
Yeah,
that's
like
true.
Or even like, you know, even in New York, it's like, or Chi-Town or something, like you have a subway system that for the most part works, that people can trust.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes the carless community work. You know what I mean? Like,
LA's horrible, dude. You'll like ride one and a guy just busts out a crack pipe and starts going.
That's pretty bad.
I wish like public transportation in LA would like be dope. You know what I'm saying?
The sad part is that I like cars so much too that it's like if that's missing from my life, I probably wouldn't have fun in this spot.
But that's why I think it's cool because it's like you get choices.
Yeah.
You know, like people can live where they feel like they want to live or whatever. I think that's tight.
Do they say that you can have a car in that place? Because like,
there's no parking spots in general.
It looks like it's dubbed the carless community, so it feels like you probably got to park at a different building if you have a car. And then
I mean, if you can walk, if they have a parking structure for just cars to just stay, that you can walk to, that's on the edge of the city, and then you can just go out and venture out. I think that would be pretty dope. Because then you're living the best of both worlds.
It kind of reminds me a little bit, you know, One Santa Fe, that complex that's in the Arts District.
Is that like the white and red building?
Yeah, the white and red building. Yeah.
It was white and red. It got repainted.
But they had so much retail space at the bottom, it almost felt like this, but flattened out.
Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of that. But my favorite thing still is Canyon Lake, man. That's to me. I would rather live in Canyon Lake.
That shit was cool.
Is that the private lake in LA?
It's the biggest gated community in America.
Oh, where is that?
It's
that one?
It's by
In
Lake
OC?
Elsinore.
Yeah.
So it's a giant. It's like a big ass nice city that's around a wall.
Where's Lake Elsinore?
Like inland a little bit.
Is that swimmable? The water?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
But it's like a secret almost. Like people don't really talk about it much or know about
They
it.
don't want nobody in.
Yeah, it's like one of those things. But you can. But the funny thing is, their YouTube channel is like you could just watch it and then you can see everything that's going on in there because they have like an actual dedicated YouTube where they're like, today at Canyon Lake we're gonna be going canoeing at the thing, and you're like, that's their life or is this fake?